Alright, hello everyone. So this is my Pecha Kucha presentation. I'm going to be going over the structure of the LDT 550 class and also talk about some of the specific activities that I did for it. So first, just to talk a little bit about the course. So basically what we had to do was customize our own personalized learning pathway, where we had to choose 4 of 6 pre-made education technology modules. We had to learn a bit about the technology itself, and then also produce some projects to demonstrate the knowledge that we learned. So I also created a website where I had links to all of my projects, so that way they were all in one place and so that they would be easy to find and access. Something else that I did just starting out in the class was create a personal portfolio page where I posted some information about my work and education experience, and this is actually something that I've attached to my resume. I'm quite proud of it. I had some HTML experience coming into the class, so I enjoyed making this just right off the bat. Now, one of the activities that we had to do throughout the class was What's Hot, which was a discussion that everybody in the class had on Yammer, where they could share a little bit about education technology tools that they found useful or interesting. So these are the first 3 that I did. One is called Memorize, which was essentially a language learning app using flashcards. Brackets, which was a code editor that I used during my first module, and I found it very useful for pointing out errors and also previewing a website as you're creating it. And then Stack Overflow, which was a great website to find answers to frequently asked questions about coding issues as you are developing a website or SQL or whatever it is. Next set. First, I talked about word reference, which is a tool that I've used for years for language learning. It is a great dictionary of words. It also provides a verb conjugator, and it's also a great resource of colloquial phrases, and it has forums for discussion as well. Also talked about the two-factor authentication that is being integrated here into Penn State. It is essentially an extra layer of security that makes sure that whoever's logging into an account with sensitive information is indeed that person. And then finally, Lucidchart, which was a great tool that allows you to customize flowcharts and diagrams. Another kind of activity that we had to do throughout the class were called design activities, and these were much more instructional design focused. So the first activity was in pairs, where you had to talk to the other person a little bit, just tell them a little bit about yourself, and then you had to design a item or tool that the other person would find useful. The second activity was with a group. Here we used VoiceThread in order to compile all of our ideas. We designed an app that we thought would help parents be more connected to their students' school life, and I particularly focused on the scheduling aspect of the app so parents could schedule meetings with the teacher. The third design activity was once again in a group, and we had to design an interface that would allow a teacher to easily grade a student's recording of themselves reading a passage. So we designed ways that teachers could specify errors as well as mark words correct. And then there is also a page where instructors could go to see the analytics in charts and graphs so they could easily track a student's progress. Design activity 4 had you go over one of the modules that you had completed so far. So I decided to talk about my first module, which was a website that I created. And finally, design activity 5 was again in a group, and once again my group used VoiceThread to share our ideas. We had to read the latest Horizon report, which talks about trends and challenges in education technology. And I specifically talked about the challenge of trying to improve digital literacy in our society. So now I'm going to go into the technology modules that I did. The first one was HTML CSS jQuery, and I created a website. I had some experience with HTML CSS going in, but nothing with jQuery. So this is the main homepage of my website, and decided to highlight 4 different places that I've traveled to. There's an About Me page, and then you can click on the Read More for the individual places. And then these are what the pages for each place looks like. They are all pretty much the same, but the content differs. I used a jQuery to create a little picture slideshow. If you click on the header down at the bottom where it says My Trip to Perugia, an accordion effect would then open up the description. That was also with jQuery. And then of course I used CSS and HTML to design the underlying framework and the decorative aspects of the website as well. Module 2 focused on databases. I knew database concepts, but I didn't really know anything about PHP or SQL. So this is a part of the page that I created that allows you to go in, fill out forms to modify a student gradebook. Once you would fill out the changes you wanted to make and click the corresponding button. Once you would display all records, which is this page here, that would then show you the full gradebook with all of the changes. Technology Module 3 focused on Adobe Illustrator. I had some experience with Photoshop coming in, but none with Illustrator. First activity had you try to recreate the checkmark icon that you see on the left. So that is my attempt. I also had to design and create a logo for the Design Studio class. So this is what I came up with. And then finally, you had to create a infographic. So I love testing my friends to see if they have a corresponding Myers-Briggs type. So I decided to focus on that. I used a color generator in order to make sure all the colors corresponded well. And then I also created all of the images and the text that you see here as well. Had a lot of fun doing this. And then finally, the last module was flipped classrooms. I teach a intro to Photoshop workshop here at my job. So I decided to create, it was about a 6-minute video using EduCreations to focus on the interface of Photoshop and point out some of the basic tools that people would find useful. And that is the end of my presentation. Thanks for watching. I definitely learned a lot in this class and really appreciated how much everybody was supportive of one another, and I really enjoyed collaborating with everybody, especially through those design activities. So thanks for watching.